Welcome back to our Lions Walk. 20 more minutes of Millwall chat, and we've got three very, very disgruntled Millwall fans this week, just when we thought that it was safe to relax and enjoy our football again. Millwall drop a stinker like that against Pompey. We called it last week, sell out the den, and every single time you do, Millwall just don't turn up. How are you all doing? Thanks for your company this week. We've got Mike, Tom, and Rufus to give their view on just what went wrong against Pompey. Not two big head losses this week, but we've got a few things we would need to call out. Plus, we're asking which away trip would we like up from League One if we're staying in this division, which is looking a little bit more likely after this weekend. Plus, are we falling out of love with football? And our A to Z continues. Lots to get our teeth into, Mike. Where do we start with that Pompey result?
It was one of those results that I didn't underestimate Portsmouth at all. I think they're a good team. I think their league position isn't true to how good they can be, especially on their day. I just think we didn't turn up. I think no player particularly had a good game. I think it was alarming for a few different reasons, but I think the fact that no one sort of took the game by the scruff of the neck. No one was there to sort of carry us through. I think that Alex Neil got it completely wrong, in all honesty, for the most part. I think it's strange because I looked at the lineup beforehand, and bar Coburn probably starting, I would have said, like, that's our strongest team on paper, really. If he was gonna, I didn't want Bannon to start at the weekend, and yeah, I think it's just a lot of. Everyone had a bad day, but I haven't been impressed with how we played the last couple of games, to be honest, either. I think we got, the Sheffield Wednesday game, we got a bit lucky, and they're just down and out for the most part. And then Wrexham, don't get me wrong, I thought we defended well, and but we only had one shot on target all game, other than the own goal. So yeah, confusing one.
I feel like we're a little bit responsible ourselves, perhaps, on here, because, of course, last week, 7 days ago, we were all talking about goalkeepers and what he should do. The tweets they were very similar here, but Tony says, as much as I love Alex Neil and what he's doing, he got it totally wrong dropping Crocombe today. The new goal could be lets in 3. The team has been awful the last 2 games. We got a massive game against Birmingham now. If we slip up there with the away fixtures, we have playoffs will be off. Yeah, Tom... did he get it wrong with the goalkeeper?
Our fans are so dramatic. Like, I listened to what Alex Neil said after the game, and he said Crocombe made that mistake for him to lose his place, and he did. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't think Patterson actually made a mistake during that game. I don't think he could be called on for any of the goals. The first goal, it was just a complete cock up. Like, what went on? Alfie Doughty stopped running for the ball. Don't even get me started on his performance. Worst I've seen of him in a Millwall shirt. Then Cooper dived in for a challenge and just looked like the donkey that he usually does when he's in that mood. And Taylor, where was he? Nowhere. I don't think he got the keeper situation wrong. It was going to happen at some point. And I think all of us said on here, it was Crocombe's to lose. If he made a mistake, he was out the team.
Who else got your goat, Tom, on Saturday?
Do you want me to go through them all individually? I could have an hour rant about every single one, but the one that stuck out for me was that right-hand side. Kramer was had on toast. Like, I've watched the highlights back again, and Ali, his name is, he's the one from Luton. He would just had him on bread and butter, just eating him up every single time, twisting and turning him. Aziz fell over his own feet 4 times. And it was just that same repetition down the right-hand side. Aziz would try doing some flickery, cut it back, cross it in. It was so predictable, and Pompey just knew what they were going to do. And that's why every time they attacked down that left-hand side, a chance come, because Kramer was so far pushed up. Alex Neil was had on toast as well. Tactically, it was not a great look for us.
Yeah, done the double over you as well, haven't they? Just bad. And I don't think they've won at the Den as well for good 20 odd years. So lots of records broken. Rufus Barry says defending was dreadful. Alfie and Aziz, worst game they have played. Aziz no tracking back. Alfie no quality on the ball today. I feel for the big Serb. Not one cross or pass went to him. It was under hit or over hit passes and crosses. Yeah. Bad day at the office, Rufus, or had this been coming?
I think it's a bit of both, because I think the last couple of games, I don't think we've played that well, and I sort of had a feeling this sort of game was coming. But there again, with Doughty, Kramer, Aziz, they've been performing really well for most of the season. So for those individual players, it could just be a bad day at the office for them, really. And they just got overran by the Portsmouth wingers, that Ali especially, just had Kramer on toast all game. And Doughty, his one of his flaws, Doughty, his weaknesses is his pace. He's not got much pace at all. If he comes up against a winger who's got pace, he's done for, really. And yeah, I think Ivanovic, it was unlucky not to get any crosses in the box from him, but he didn't really put himself about much in the game, I don't think, either. He wasn't pressing enough like he normally does sometimes, and we were just holding off him a bit more, I thought. The players looked really tired, I thought. Portsmouth had to play in midweek. We didn't. We had more rest than them, but we looked like we was way more tired than they were because they looked much more fitter and ready for the game than we did.
How much of a worry is this result, Mike? I mean, every team goes through a blip, and we thought you'd had yours with all those injuries back around Christmas time when you don't have any fit midfielders. But when you look at your opponents like Birmingham and obviously Wrexham, who you recently beat, who just seem to have the momentum, the gap between you and seventh is shrinking by the weeks, isn't it?
No, I'm not. I'm not panicked yet. I think the problem is that the one thing with us this year is I underestimate us a lot. There's quite a few results I didn't expect to come away with a win, let alone getting a draw from. But when we get it wrong, we do seem to just completely cock it up. And, we concede 3 goals and we're sort of down and out. We haven't been conceding a lot recently. Our clean sheets for the last sort of 10 games or so have been quite high, really. I think what worries me is how we react on Wednesday now. We rarely put in 2 bad performances in a row. But then again, I didn't think we particularly played that well the last 2 games either. So I don't know what that really tells you. But Birmingham are no mugs either. They're going to come and they're going to be well up for it on Wednesday. But I think it's a pivotal point for us because I think it's disappointing because I was angry about the result on Saturday. But 2, when you see that all the results went our way, we could have been third, 3 points off of second. And I still don't fancy Coventry for the playoffs. And Ipswich, conceding 5 at the weekend. And, not that you want everything to be in your own fate and not in other teams, but you couldn't have asked for a more perfect weekend to put your marker down. And I just think, no team is going to go undefeated between now and the end of the season, but I also think it was the lack of effort and the lack of. It didn't seem like just no one cared at the weekend. It seemed, and everyone was off their game, and it was like, right, well, let's just sort of move on. But
it's weird, isn't it, that players can all have an off day at the same time, though, Tom. It's got to be down to something. It's either underestimating the opposition, isn't it, or there's something not right in the camp. I mean, let's hope it's not the latter. Danny says it's Millwall, isn't it? It's what we do. When we have a golden opportunity to close in on the top 2, when all of the results go in our favour, we spectacularly F it up. Don't you just love this? Don't you just love this football club? Yeah, we've been here before, Tom, haven't we?
Yeah, I said it last week. I expected us to lose to Sheffield Wednesday, and it nearly happened. And it was bound to happen as performance. But as Mike said, usually when we get spanked like we did at the weekend, we always have a bounce back. But I'm not going to lie, I don't think it's going to happen, especially against a Brum team who are in form. They're flying at the minute. And not going to lie, if we play and perform anything like we did on Saturday, they're going to want it more and just beat us. It's simple as that. But I don't think it's anything in the camp. I think it was just complacency. I think we probably went into the game thinking, we're on such a good run, even though we're not really, and thought we would just get the win because we had the sellout. A league attendance record. I think it just got to him a bit.
Good. Rufus, what would you change then for midweek?
I think there'd be a few changes I'd bring to the team. I think I'd put Coburn back in the side if he's back for this game because he missed the game against Portsmouth with illness and he was due to start that game, which was a bit of a big miss for the team. And also, I'd like to see Barry Bannon start as well, because I think I'd drop Denor onto the bench because he didn't perform that well at all on Saturday. I know he got the goal, but he did nothing else all game, really. Just didn't get on the ball at all or anything like that. So I think I'd like to see Bannon in the team more because he had an impact when he come on Saturday. So I'd like to see Bannon and Mitchell in the midfield. I think I'd start Watson again, although he wasn't really given the ball much. But yeah, it's just one game for him so far, really. And I think that's really changed, really. I think I'd keep the back four the same. And I think I'd stick with Patterson in goal for this one. So I'd like to see Bannon be brought into the team and Coburn start front.
Mike, do you agree?
Yeah, very much. I think it could be a toss-up between Billy and Casper, who will get a drop for Bannon. I don't know whether I could see Sturge playing. I think Doughty had such a bad game. I could see him being dropped. I think he just looked very leggy. He didn't have anything about him. I could see maybe Sturge. No, Sturge is a very good rotational player. He doesn't have the delivery of. If you could play Doughty 3 games in a week, I think you would choose that option. But I could see him maybe being saved for against Hull. But yeah, I'd probably stay the same, to be honest. So I hate to say it, but I do think we miss Langstaff's press a lot of the time. I think if Langstaff was on earlier and he's chasing down those lost courses and putting pressure on the centre backs and not giving people all the time in, either centrally or sort of like in midfield, that does sort of like put pressure on the opposition. And I do feel like we missed that sort of press because with the others, we don't really have it. Casper and Billy are a bit too deep, and Negley's not going to chase down lost causes and aimlessly run sort of thing. But then I also feel like we can't drop Watson because it's just too predictable for Aziz there. And they just double up on Aziz, and that's the right-hand side sort of basically dead in the water. So, I think it's going to be tricky to try and figure out what we're going to do.
Okay. Give us your thoughts in the comments. Of course, by the time you watch this, the game will be finished, and no one will be looking ahead to the weekend game as well, which of course we'll be reviewing next week on this channel. First of all, thanks for your comments last week. We do read them all. Really appreciate it. Thanks for your reflections on the letter P. We're on to Q in a minute, so get your thinking caps on for that. Other bits and pieces this week, we've been talking about promotion and looking at League One. Tom, if we are still here in the division next year, let's hope we're not. Any away trips that you look at in that League One bunch and go, oh yeah, I'd fancy that?
I don't know. I honestly, I've not really paid attention to League One whatsoever. I'm pulling the table up now.
We've got Cardiff, Lincoln, Stockport, Bradford, Huddersfield.
Honestly, it's all just up north. I'd rather not. I'd rather just not go. I'd rather just not go up there, to be honest. Like I'm on the other side of the country as it is. I'm at university down in Plymouth, so I wouldn't even bother. I go to a Cardiff game, but there's not really any that excite you. Like I'd like to see some of the teams come up because they haven't been in the division for a while. I'd like to see Bradford come up. Bradford are a big club. They shouldn't have been down in League Two in the first place. Like I'd like to see Bradford back up a bit higher, and the same with Bolton.
Yeah, good shots. Yeah, Rufus, any particular way you look forward to doing there?
I just looked at the League One table. I'd like to see a team like Lincoln or Stevenage come up, to be honest. See them in the Championship. I think that'd be quite a good away day, to be honest. And they're not too far away from Millwall either, so I think that'll be quite good away days. And I'd really like to see them sort of sides come up into this league and see how they do in the Championship.
Yeah, we need more northern teams, don't we, in this division? It's getting overrun by southern teams at the moment. Mike.
Yeah, to be honest, largely the same. I don't. Like obviously Cardiff are all bounced straight back up, weren't they? I think they're all but guaranteed. I think last time I looked, but there's no. I probably agree. One of the minnows to sort of come up in that sort of sense, and give us a run for our money sort of thing. And I think that could be quite interesting for, at least there's not like 3 or 4 big teams that are going to come into the league and spend 30, 40 million in the summer and expect to piss it next year. But no, I think one of the smaller teams, Stevenage, Wickham's not that far either, is it? No. Journey time, I think. So maybe one of them, so you could be a bit more of a local one. You don't want to. The kickoffs change horrible enough. Some of the away trips midweek and 12 o'clock on a Saturday.
Did you see we were on the ITV in a few weeks
Yeah,
against Ipswich? Oh, what?
Do you know one away game I actually quite missed this season? I quite miss Luton away. I do love Luton away. I wouldn't mind them back up, to be honest.
Okay.
I think I went to Plymouth away last year and we got battered 5-1. That was my dad travelled down for it as well, and I was like, "You poor bloke."
Right then, we'll chat about are we falling out of love with football a little bit more next week. But let's finish off with Q. Anyone got a good one here?
I cheated.
Okay,
He's cheated.
What does Wikipedia say?
So the only two I can find Millwall players is Mark Quigley from 2003-2004 season, played four appearances, and then there's Quinn.
My God.
From 1949 to 1955, played 44 appearances. That's the only two Millwall players beginning with Q that I could find.
Right. Okay. Who we got?
Mike, I know you're a bit more my time, but that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I've never heard of him before.
Me neither.
Right.
I couldn't think of a thing.
Well, we'll go with the Quinn fella then, shall we? Is it Jez Quinn? You say?
Yeah.
Right, there we are, Jez Quinn. If anybody was around watching Millwall, what, 1945 to what?
Yeah, 1949 to 1955.
80 years ago.
Yeah, he had 44 appearances.
We got right. If there's a Millwall fan out there that saw Millwall in the
Comment down
50s,
below.
love to talk to you. Right, the good news is it gets easier next week. R, S, and T following subsequent weeks, so yeah, they'll be all right. Hopefully,
Nice.
R next week. Right, thank you, of course, so much for watching. We're growing a great little community here. Love making this content for you, and we've got 9 more records to go before we'll know whether Millwall will be playing the likes of Cardiff and probably Huddersfield again next season, or will we be away to West Ham? You just never know. We're looking forward to finding out here every step of the way with you. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Tom. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Where Lions Walk. Thanks for your company.